Thanks for joining us. We have today back again, Sylvia with Odyssey of Enlightenment. We got so much great response. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And today we were talking, and there's something even more important than taking care of your house sometimes, because the first thing we're supposed to take care of is ourselves. And Sylvia and I are like a support team here. We're always going back and forth. How can, what are you doing? What am I doing? And I brought her on because she gives me such great ideas. And I know you love her. So Sylvia, give us some ideas of how we can cleanse our temple and keep our mind straight when we're under stress, because you're going through something right now that I have been through, very tough times. And we're just trying to keep you supported, keep you cleansed.
Yeah.
What do we do?
The diet thing seems to be something that you're excelling at right now. And I'm in awe of you.
I'm doing a master cleanse. Yay, my first master cleanse.
I'm excited. I want to do that. I aspire to do that, but I haven't done that.
I have to tell you something funny about that. My cleanse, you're supposed to gather your the things for your cleanse. Mm-hmm. It's lemons, it's cayenne pepper, or organic. It's maple syrup. Mm-hmm. So I get all this back in February. This cleanse was supposed to start in February before my move. Couldn't do it. I don't ever wait. I can't make goals. I can't say, okay, I'm going to do it in February. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to do this cleanse, because I won't be able to do it. I just tell myself, okay, I've got everything in place. Let me know.
Yes, I do that too. You surrender.
Because it's impossible, in my opinion. I don't diet a lot, to do a fast or a cleanse unless your mind's right, unless you've gotten something.
Your guidance will tell you what you need, right. Because I have an organic jug of maple syrup for the cleanse that I was told you're going to be needing this, but pray and ask when.
Right.
That thing's been sitting there for almost 2 months now. I haven't touched it because I am not in that space where I can do it. And I'm okay with that. I'm not beating myself up. If I need to eat anything, I allow myself to indulge, but it's a fine line. It's a very fine line. Don't use anything as a crutch or abuse it. I think everything in moderation and in balance. So I don't eat sugar throughout the week, but then like on a weekend, if I crave it, I'll allow myself to indulge. But then back to business, Monday through Friday, I won't eat it. And then I don't feel guilty. Then I don't feel guilty about indulging. And then it's not like I'm abusing something, because I think you should not limit yourself to, anything, because that's what life is for. It's supposed to be fun. And
it is supposed to be fun, and it should be on a flow and in the cycle. I mean, I really believe in the seasons. We're supposed to be doing different things to our body at different seasons. We're supposed to be getting warm in the winter, hunkering down. But there's so many things that we just aren't doing, I think, as a collective sometimes, because we're just listening to what they're selling. If somebody's still into that world, what are they going to shine on us for the next, round?
Yeah, tell me what to do, master. Yeah.
Right. And some of the stuff I do is just age old. Learn to meditate. Meditate once a day. 20 minutes a day would this world would be the most hospitable place in any solar system, in any place.
Wow.
If every individual just could get into a center and they start knowing who they are. They figure out there was this difference between what's here and what they're told is here, or what can be here. It's also,
I think everybody's just operating from pain. Everybody's just hurt and wounded and saying it's your fault.
There's a lot of chaos that way, and that's just bullshit too.
We got to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
And I try to do that in every moment. I fall. I'm not perfect. I caught myself in a moment yesterday where I was being very angry and in the divorce, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to be like that, because I feel like it kind of has you like this when you're angry and doing this. And I'm like, no, I don't want anything to control me. I don't want anything puppeteering me. So I'm taking my power back. And the way I decided to do that was like, you know what? Help me I prayed and I asked for help with I choose to be the embodiment of grace. I choose to be compassionate. I choose love. And however that looks, and for myself. So I forgave myself for being human.
Sure.
And having that little bratty moment that I did yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was justified, but I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be in that mentality anymore. So I don't want to be a slave to it. So my goal is to be totally neutral. That is my dream, to be neutral, so that I can't get triggered. A name can't trigger me. A word, an action, a message, a phone call, somebody's face. I don't want that. I don't want to be like, yanked around.
And that's what happens. I mean, our emotions, especially when we ground them in the anger, or if we ground them in a moment. I mean, because emotions are supposed to keep moving. They're part of the living in the water thing that I kind of put together. Not I put together. I think God did that. We're just starting to figure out how the moving parts work. I think at least I am. It's not that, to me, I think God is a universal, situation for all of us. And if you don't believe, you don't have to believe. I'll believe for you. There's a God. There's too many working parts here not to know somebody's got a lot of balls in the air and all sorts of things. So I don't know what I just lost.
I feel like the word God, goddess, same thing, mother, father, God, magic and love are all the same.
They're all the same number?
No, they're all the same energy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're just saying yes, and part of that. I agree with that. Yes.
Because love, I feel like that when you feel love, that's something divine running through you. And what's better than love? It's like, that's what we came here for. And they say that emotion is not in other, planets, that's why people come here for that. So.
So we have the love to offer, because when I think about love, I think it's a God thing, and I would think that there would be God things out there that would have love, but I don't know about all. There's so many, I guess, different dimensions.
Well, I think we can. It's all, what glasses are you wearing? I feel like that everything just boils down to a choice. So I woke up feeling kind of low vibe, and I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that if you're a healer, that if you do healing work on yourself or as employment or whatever, that you got it all figured out, and if you are connected psychically or empathically, that you're perfect. That's not true.
Right.
We're in the trenches right along with you. We don't know what the hell we're doing sometimes either. And just because we get messages doesn't mean we understand them all the time. I sometimes don't understand what they're trying to tell me, and sometimes I get frustrated with myself, like, show me, help me understand, because I don't understand what you're showing me. And I guess we expect so much of ourselves. Like, we expect us to get it like that, and we expect ourselves to be perfect, and we're not. It's like getting mad at a baby who falls when he stands up, and it's like, encourage that baby. Like, it's okay. You can do it again. Get up. And so every moment, like, just choosing love for yourself and for everybody else. Because I think if we give that to ourselves, we're wounded children walking around out here, then you can give it to somebody else. Because then what it feels like, because you're giving it to you. And then you're like, oh, it's okay. Then you can be more, what's the word? Compassionate, accepting. Like, we're all just doing our best.
Right. And you can be more, you can walk in their shoes without thinking, what it really is like to walk in their shoes, but you can try, rather than say there's something wrong and set up all these. I mean, to me, that's the matrix. The matrix is all of those little, things that we're shoving between us and something else.
It's a competition. The matrix always pits everything against itself, because it wants you like this. Because you generate the most energy when you're like this.
Right. I never even thought of that. I mean, no wonder I've given up on all that. I mean, I think it's easier to kind of get centered, and then when you know what you want to do, you go out and do it, and then you come back and you just you do a lot of work in your mind in order to stay out of the chaos. I mean, you start
Yeah.
realizing
Yeah.
there's some places you just don't want to keep making the same mistakes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really stupid and you met your fella in the bar, you don't keep going to the bar to find the fella
Oh,
the
I
next.
know, right? Like if you met the mistake
Right.
at
And
the
I've
bar,
seen,
don't go back to the bar.
you know, or just whatever it is, you know, the horse races, if that's what your thing
No,
is.
I'm saying, I feel like learn from your mistakes, then there is no mistake because it becomes a lesson.
Correct. And then you've expanded yourself, and hopefully
Yeah.
you can have compassion for the person that's in that state, rather than somebody at church might have said, oh, if a person does this, you know they're bad. And if they're bad, they'll never change. They're in stone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Have I shown you this before? My heart's in stone.
Oh, so pretty.
I always try to find hearts of stone, but you know, nothing's in stone.
No. And you know, everything's a choice. So I feel like what I try to do constantly is step back and observe. Okay,
Absolutely.
could I have done that better? Was I wrong?
Mhm.
Oh, and then I hate that feeling of, oh, I could have done it better. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like being the director, step out of being the star of the movie and then sit in the director chair and be like, oh, okay, this is where I messed up. Or this is where I could have been more compassionate, but I was really in my feelings and I was in revenge mode, or I was in my ego. Do I really need that? No. Okay, it's not so bad. Deciding in every moment, you know what, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. So it's your choice. Do you allow it to be possible? Because you can, just because somebody comes to knock on your door, you don't have to open it. So, I mean, open the door and allow the possibility into your reality. So I feel like if you shift your focus, so that's what I try to do. I don't always wake up feeling great. Sometimes I feel really crappy, even after the jumping up and down and all that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's still lingering. Something's there. And I feel like we're releasing a lot right now. And with all the energy work that we do, you are going to have those little healing crises where stuff comes up to be released. And don't beat yourself up if you feel sad. If you need to cry, do it. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. Right. So I use things like a little meditation to see what's in there and then let it come up and cry if I need to. But then I try to do something happy, like shift the channel, change the channel. If the channel you were on was sad, mad, whatever, quickly go do things that uplift you. The little things that I do that help me a lot are, well, you told me about this and I'm so grateful because I love it, is this holy basil leaf.
Oh yeah.
That I started taking. Oh my goodness, what a difference. And it looks like this.
Are you sleeping better too with it?
I am sleeping better. They still interrupt me. I feel like it's I don't know if it's interference or if it's my guidance waking me up, but every day at 3 a.m. And I'm like, leave me alone.
I love that. Well, that's what happened to me for years. It was 4 a.m. It was Eastern Standard always. And I would just say, okay, they're waking me up again. And it became ludicrous because it felt like it was like a nudging.
Yeah. Because it'll be out of a deep sleep. And I'm like, what?
I did that for years. And people thought I was crazy. That I would live with, they'd say, I've been up since 4. I usually was writing, studying.
So you stay up?
Usually. Sometimes it just depended on what was going on the night before. And during the time that was really prominent in my life, it's not prominent since I've been a mother. You know, it was all about the babies, and my cycles are still, I'm trying to develop that right now though. I have a weird sleep schedule though.
Well, but you go with it. That's important.
I just go with it. Yes.
I don't, because of small children that go to school. So I have to wake up with them by a certain time and get them ready and stuff. So I know that my butt will be kicked if I don't try to sleep. So I try to go like, listen, okay, what do you want to tell me? And then just go back to sleep.
Oh,
and
nice.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. And I try to ask, please don't interrupt my sleep.
Well, mine was I did it to meditate. When I got up, I was going to get up. I was going to work in the pyramid. I was going to sit down, ground. I was going to do Reiki. It was like layers and layers and layers. And I'd work until until people got up to go to work. And this is what I found, and this is why I think it's cool to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
It's my impression as somebody who's kind of tapped into these things that when this was happening to me, I thought, wow, it's so quiet at
Oh,
this
I
time.
love
Because
that.
I would live in apartments, and whether it was real sound or sound that I would just, the busyness
Cars
of
or
being
whatever.
there,
Yeah.
it's just a busy presence that was always there. Because I've been in houses and out in, I don't want to say nowhere, but where you could still sense your
Right.
neighbor. We're at a distance. And at 4, if they're all asleep, you don't sense anything except, the presence of nature if you're outside, the presence of God if that's what you're aligning to. And to me, there's no better time to have it, because then you get up and you have this beautiful day that's starting in something that's better than, I got to get out the door. Oh, what do I do next?
Oh, yuck. Yeah.
And
You set the vibration.
It is a vibration, and it's not a good way to throw yourself out there. And if you can have those hours, especially if you're going into chaos and going into the corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
I did that when I was going to corporate America too. I had to shuffle my hours. I had to go to bed early. People, I'm not watching the 11 o'clock news. You can't.
Right. Yeah. Sacrificing something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the holy basil, what it does?
Well, holy basil, I got turned on to it when I was going through my divorce, just to chill down. And then there were some events in my children's life that really upset them, because they get upset and maybe mommy doesn't handle it just right. But, I had a teenager that I had moved into a county that she didn't know she was being moved one day, and she was hysterical. Mm-hmm. And maybe I shouldn't have handled it that way, but there were boyfriends involved. There were all these. The reason I was moving was because of the chaos. I was trying to get back close to dad for the support. So she flipped out. Like I knew she'd be upset, but I didn't know she would just come to this point. And it hurt me. I mean, I couldn't believe how I had destroyed her.
Right.
And, it was all me, and there was no one to look at. So I ran up to the herb store, got these, it wasn't this brand. The brand I got, and I can look it up and maybe put it in there, is real high-end brand. I like this brand, don't get me wrong. That's what I ended up going on for myself, just to maintain. But that brand, she took 2 of them, and within 10 minutes, she could not believe
I feel it in my brain. I feel the when I shift.
Her shift was so huge. She never doubted me again. Because I'm always coming up. You need to
right. They don't always listen.
I'm always saying you need to drink more water. How much water have you had today? Oh, you feel that way? You sure? Did you
I do that to my kids too.
Did you say a prayer? Did you tell the water you wanted it to get rid of whatever you are? Are you communicating with God today? Well, then get in there and communicate with God, and then let's take some ibuprofen if you still have a problem.
Right.
And so
that's beautiful.
Well, I mean,
I do that too. That's so funny. But we're creating conscious beings. I feel like it's our duty to create a new generation that's better than the last one.
Well, I think it's not even that's better. We need if these are our tools.
Yeah.
Everyone has them.
Oh, I want everybody to use them. Yeah.
It's water, and
that's how we're changing the world.
Yes, because you don't have to go out and buy it. You don't have to get it from flipping Amazon. You don't have to read a book. You do know how to get in front of.
And your guidance will tell you what to ask for, what to say, what words. You don't have to worry about having the perfect words. You make it up. And you can change it every day. You don't have to memorize anything. Or if you find something you really love, write it and just say it until you memorize it. And
I was going to share this because we were talking about writing things down. This is how so see, everyone goes through phases. If you know this prayer, it says God. See where God should be?
Yeah. Oh, the serenity prayer.
Yeah, but I blanked out God. I got kind of upset with God.
I had a moment of that too, but I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back too. But I bought this just to, and I'm not going to give you all my details, but I got this in 2012, and anytime I would find like something I started working with, Reiki symbols, which are published anyway, I would just throw them in here. Like if I was going to create a routine with it, if I wanted to create a prayer, if I wanted to magnetize something or one of the things that I think that I learned about Reiki is well, I think everybody should learn is there's energy coming out of your field if you learn how to move it. And that's what we were really wanting to talk about, that we just have so much self-healing that has to be done. But once we start moving our own, then it can heal us. I mean, there's a cycle going on. Like the more sessions you do, or the more that we give our whatever it is our gift,
right?
Becomes gifts, then that energy just keeps multiplying.
And it comes back to you. It comes back to you. You give the world, and the world gives you back. Like you talked about the field.
Well, and when I learned Reiki, we did a 21-day plan, like I've got you doing now. And what I found, I haven't done one of those in a long time. For me, within about 7 days of it, I mean, my energy, that's why I'm not sleeping. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm getting about 4 or 5 hours here, and then I'll get up and I'll be about 3 hours, and then I might go get another 4. But
maybe
I feel
because
terrific.
You don't have all that food weighing you down.
No, and I wasn't eating before. I was sort of I was in a pre-cleanse.
Or in a gradual pre-cleanse.
Yes, I was headed.
And that's the best way to do it. Just listen to your body.
Yeah.
And I'm in awe of you, but I'm nowhere near that right now.
Well, and I wasn't. Again, I had this for 9 months.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'd buy lemons, and I'd go, "Oh, I'm going to start. I think I'm
going
to start." And my daughter's
we make plans, and God laughs.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Okay, those are rotten. They're not." Well, no, I didn't use them all because you have to have so many lemons, more than what you'd use normally.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back a little bit to the holy basil. What is it for?
It's calming. It just calms it evens you out. It just takes, I don't know, whatever it does, it deals with emotions very quickly.
Yeah, I've read that it limits your cortisol production, which is a stress hormone that creates belly fat. And then that's a precursor to diabetes, because when you have a lot of belly fat, a lot of stress, that creates insulin resistance. So like one little thing can create so many other bad things. Right. And so like you block that, and you're just like very even. You're not drugged by any means, but you just feel mellow. And when something comes at you, you're like, oh, okay. You still feel emotions. You can still feel upset and everything, but it's not that sucker punch shock that it can be.
And it can help somebody. Let's say you're in a car accident. I mean, it's great and you're in something that just really shocks you. Somebody dies or something horrible just gets you, and it can impact you within 10 minutes. You've got to get a little bit out, but once a little bit's out, you can take this, and it's going to mellow you out.
You can process it.
It will help you process it rather than just going so far out. And there's no, everybody's different.
Right. Instead of spiraling out. Yeah. Yeah, it takes the edge off for sure. And I feel like all you need is a little cushion to take the edge off so that you can gain some perspective.
And she did. And this is where I'd never seen it. I would have never thought, like, she was a 14-year-old. She was in 9th grade, 14. Mm-hmm. I would have never thought she could have recovered in that span. But we all watched her, and I had a best friend there. My son was there. We all felt horrible for her. I mean, her dad showed up. I mean, everything that happened, we tried to pull her out of it, and she just kept spinning. 10 minutes. I'm like, I am going to
Wow, that's a miracle.
And it's what I got. It helped me get off of antidepressants after my divorce. And I had never been on medication in my life for anything, but that just came on. Mm-hmm. And that's what they gave me. And as soon as they did that, and they said, "Oh, it'll be all right." And I'm like, I don't really do medication, but I needed it for the time. Mm-hmm. But once I was on it, there was still so many things I didn't process. Like, what I appreciate what you're doing right now, and this is what I learned, like, as a spiritual practice you're supposed to do, and you're doing it, is when you meditate in the morning, and when you go through your day and bad things happen, mm-hmm. and you hit the bed at night, and you're going to reflect and talk to God, or however you do your thing, mm-hmm. but you review your day. This is how you can, like, you review and go over, and then you just sort of undo things. I mean, that's where you could collapse timelines, through prayer and forgiveness with God.
Acknowledgement and send out love and forgiveness and apologize. Yeah, you don't have to call the person up if you guys aren't on speaking terms. You can do it energetically, because that's what I do. I do it energetically.
Yeah. So I think that that's just a way, that's how we're supposed to finish our day. I think it's chaos out there because there's so many undisciplined creator beings, perhaps,
Oh, wow.
baby creator beings out there, that don't understand how their antenna. That's why I call myself the antenna, the cosmic antenna. I think we're all cosmic antennas. It's our chakras. It's the way our system's working. It's our engaging with one another that we don't even understand. That, I mean, we're not teaching our children that. I mean, we might be saying, hey, don't have sex, but we're not explaining that when two beings come together, whether they're completely, all human DNA or whatever, there's some sort of merging going on.
Right.
And
we're taking each other's junk.
We're taking a whole family tribe of one person and putting it with a whole family tribe of another. I mean, the chakras are lining up. We're trying to create life.
Right.
And that's how I talk to my children, just so they're real clear what they're doing if they make those decisions, because there's, it can be a beautiful thing, or it can be something that's just abused. And I think that we've created a society that it's more set up as is without any sense of true
responsibility.
Respect.
Ooh, yeah.
We're bringing in life, or there's so many other things we could be doing. And when you meditate and you try to hold on to that sexual energy anyhow, if you're working on that type of a path, you shouldn't be all out with everyone. You should be more chaste, and you should be more within your finding people that, it's so funny. I met after my divorce, I moved back home to the town I left while I was in college that I never went back to. So I didn't really have a sense of, we'll be friends after high school. I didn't know anybody, there wasn't Facebook. So I went back there, 30 years later, and there's people bumping around. And I can't believe this, but I'm having one of those moments. I can't remember what I was going to tell the story about.
Oh, your high school friends, or you moved back to the town.
I know, but there was something specific about energy
and like, don't be reckless with giving your energy to just anybody. Sexually matter.
Well, I've still lost that, but
well, if you get it back, we'll come back to it. It made me think of the universal laws, and then like ideas are very simple. I think we make them complicated. So see if your sexual energy is valuable. Don't just throw it away, I feel like it's the same thing with your words and your thoughts.
Yes. And
they're so powerful. I think that we take for granted that you can curse someone with just your words, or sending them a mental dagger.
Absolutely.
Psychic attack. So I feel like whoa, we have like these machine guns, the mind and the mouth. Those are machine guns, and like, be careful. Be careful how you use it. And I've misused them plenty. But I try to like really wrangle myself and be like, okay, because the bigger your energy gets, the more you meditate, the more you release karmic density and all that, the more powerful you are. So imagine that light went from a little twinkle to this big bright light. So that means you're more powerful. That means your words carry more weight energetically. That means your actions carry more weight energetically. That means your thoughts carry more weight energetically. Imagine, wow, that's a huge responsibility.
It is.
I feel like that's why we need to learn how powerful we are, because we're dangerous.
I couldn't agree more. I think we are dangerous, and in the simplest ways. And I think that's probably part of the chaos that we live in. I mean, I know it is in road rage and just being along all of that energetic field of people being in, and then just one person being triggered per se. I did remember, I don't know why I went to such a story, but a friend of mine that I moved back and we hung out a little bit. He had gone through a divorce, but he was I don't know what type of Baptist, but he was talking about people being evenly yoked. Have you ever heard that term?
I have heard it. What does it mean?
But I didn't know what it meant, and I had never heard the term. So I'm 50 something, I'd never heard of being evenly yoked.
Does it mean like a good match? Is that what that
means? It does, and it's biblical, I guess. And I was like, wow, how did I miss that? Because the church I got raised in, they just wanted you to be yoked with the person in your church. You know what I mean?
They don't care who. Yeah.
It didn't matter who, as
Yeah.
long as they had been baptized and done through everything you had done.
Right.
And that would be a great match. It wouldn't mean if they had bad character, as long as you're going to church.
Right.
Those things always really, because my experience was there were some bad guys out there. I don't know if any girl has ever found that, but they really can be. And they can be the guy that everyone thinks is the best guy in the room.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
Because on paper he looks good and the mask is real shiny and perfect.
Right. So with my daughter, that's been a struggle, just keeping her aware that her playing field looks like this, and then keeping her in a way that she can understand what it is like to, consider a relationship that might be chaste rather than one that is just all about, all of the things
wasting all your energy
away from. Pardon?
Yeah. And I feel like that's another thing though. Like, yes, there's some yucky people out there, but also not being so quick to label people as good or bad, or a situation as good or bad, because I feel like we can change our timeline. I mean, yes, there are lessons, but I feel like if you come at it from a place of power, as opposed to, oh, this is happening to me, I'm a victim. No, come at it in a different way. Come at it with like, how can I benefit from this? How is this a gift for me? And then not labeling something as doomed or somebody as broken and fucked up beyond recognition. Like, oh, it's impossible. He's broken. I'm throwing him away. Well, no, anything is possible. So leaving that open to surprise you, because it freaking very well can surprise you. Just as fast as it went to shit is just as fast as it can be miraculously reborn and transcended. Because if we can change, anybody can change.
And there's miracles. I believe God we provide, through us, there's always the hope of miracles if we allow it. I mean, it's always going to.
Yes.
Anything can be transformed. Anything. In a twinkle, it's very quick.
Right. And it's our choice. I think it's our choice. Like, do you want to walk through the dark hallway with no light, or do you want to walk through the hallway that it's lit?
Right.
Those are your choices. And always honor your guidance. I feel like we are always guided, and value yourself enough to listen to yourself. If your gut is telling you, don't go there, then listen.
Right.
Even if they're like, oh, but it's my dad and or whoever. No, listen to your gut, because your gut is telling you that for a reason. Right. And risk looking crazy, but at least maybe you avoided something really big.
Yeah. I had that this week with my mother-in-law. I had to take her keys away.
Wow.
Because I had just some weird feelings where she was going, how she was looking physically, and I was watching her, and it she tried to back out 4 times. I had already had a premonition. I'm already trying to get people to help her. I couldn't. And then finally I just took those keys out. I look crazy. I'm running in going, you can't have the car. Because she was like, can you take me? I said, no, ma'am, I can't take you, but I'm going to find somebody that'll take you. Sometimes you just have to step in.
Yeah.
And you just have to look crazy. I thought if anyone is looking at it, it looks like she's crazy. And she just had a big neck ache. But in my mind, I'm like, you should be, because she's not my age. In my mind, I would know to use my mirrors. I would know I can't drive. I need to.
Right, because you don't have the reflex to move quick.
Well, and it was, I've never been in, I had to call her son, my ex, and just sit down and go, I'm sitting here. I said, I think I just collapsed a timeline. I think your mom might have, I don't know if somebody would have died, but she was not,
How funny. What did he say when you said collapse my timeline? Because I say that to my kids and to you, people like you, but not to just anybody, because they're like, what the hell are you talking about, collapsing a timeline?
He knows I'm different. So he just goes with the flow, with whatever comes. He would figure it out, but he did. And I said, but I was just my heart, I knew that I'd done.
You knew. You're being told.
And I knew that there was, and I didn't give her 3 times. I gave her 4 times. And I wanted to pull the keys about the 3rd time. And she knew that. But that 4th time I got in there and I went across her and pulled that thing out of, and I was walking real fast in the house. And I could hear her. I was like going, if anybody's dealt with an 81-year-old, when you try to take keys away, it's not fun.
Oh yeah.
But I did Reiki. We did it twice, and she had some injections, and she's like, and these injections aren't working. And I'm going, I wish she would have gotten the injections.
Yeah.
I was ready to do the Reiki, and then we did. And she said, it feels better. I said, it was the injections. We do it again. I said, still the injections, because you've got those.
Yeah.
But she said, as soon as the Reiki went in, and I didn't expect this from her, but she doesn't know that much about it. She went, wow, that feels better.
Wow.
And she had been in such, it was the whole day. Her daughter was getting involved to take her to an appointment. And my son it was election day. He happened to be home from school. I said, you get out the door and you take your nanny wherever she needs to go.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. See, you took one thing, but you gave her a gift. You gave her a huge gift.
Well, she was
and
not
you
happy
loved
with
her
it.
enough to do it. I think sometimes it's that we don't want to hurt someone, or we don't want to look weird. Who cares? Do it.
Who
if
cares?
It's going to help them.
I was just like, how could I let her go on the road?
Right.
I mean, and that is what I emphasize. I said, if my child, if I would have ever, and I'm a driver, a commercial driver, so I just,
wow.
I was in there going, you've got a backup mirror, you've got these 3 strengths, and then I realized she's not able to do anything.
Wow. Yeah.
Can't back up.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I put
you gave her a big gift.
Yeah.
Bravo to you. That's amazing. Good. Right. We need to be doing that more. And I feel like
older people, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We need to share the miracles just as much as we share the complaining. I think we need to limit the complaining and discuss more miracles, because we constantly are experiencing miracles. They can be very tiny. Like this morning, I felt like God gave me such a gift. I was sitting outside and putting my bare feet in the cold grass. It was so cold, but I was being guided. You need to ground. So I was out there, and I saw not 1, but 2 red cardinals fly right by me. And I was like, oh, 2 of them. Wow. I felt like such a gift. And it was like I was being given the gift because I listened.
Yes.
Like, listen, now we're going to give you this.
Yeah.
So listen to your guidance. Drink tons of water, clean water.
Yes.
Blessed if you can.
Bless the water.
Do everything with intention.
Yeah.
And eat healthy as much as you can. Indulge, but eat healthy too. I love that you're doing a master cleanse. I can't wait to hear more about it. Also, your emotions, our emotions are so strong. The more you stay upset, the more you like languish in that and indulge in that negativity, the more it's going to bring to you. Like, you stub your toe and then you break a dish and then somebody calls you screaming at you, and it's just like, you snowball effect it. And no, get out of that vibration. And how do you get out of the vibration? First, you have to recognize you're in it. Then you have to make a choice, a decision. I don't want to feel like this. And then look for something that feels good. Anything, a movie, music, dancing, calling a friend, anything. Go outside, go for a walk, go hug your pets. Your pets are super healing.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Right? Be out in nature, look at the sunshine, something, anything, a bath. Take a nap.
Yeah.
That'll reset your vibration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so these are all little things that we have access to. Scented candles, scented wax, aromatherapy, that helps. A massage, creating something. I found that when I feel yucky, I create something, and that shifts me out of that vibration, because then I'm creating something and it feels good. I don't know what it is about. Maybe we're connecting to that source energy when we're creating something. I mean, I'm talking baking, cooking, drawing, painting, making something.
Right.
And that lifts me out.
When I draw and paint, and this is when I know I've hit that sweet spot. Something happens in my mouth, which is really similar to what happens when you do an initiation, which is funny, but you start doing some weird things with your tongue. And I do think it's part of just like you're connecting these things that we don't even know, you know what I mean, to the just clicking in and getting more of a power grid going on, so we can, get more of the information.
You're plugged in.
You get really plugged in. And I just find it can be a very oral kind of when I'm doing it, when the mind is shifted in there and it's doing it, very cool, you know.
Wow. Oh, that's exciting. I love that.
So it's a shift. It's a shift from, okay, I'm just being average creativity.
You go somewhere else.
Super in it, and now I've dropped into something else.
Yeah.
And you're not there. It transcends time in some
Yes, you're meditating. That's another form of meditation. Absolutely, because you're changing the channel. You're clicking out of one movie into another one.
Correct.
I mean, I'm 45, but I have crayons, I have markers, I have coloring books. I don't care. I'm going to do whatever it freaking takes to feel good and to tap into that little kid energy. Play, throw a ball around.
Right.
And laugh. Oh my God, laughter is the best.
And we were talking about laughing yoga. When I had this move, did I talk about that the last time? It seems familiar. Hopefully not. But just laughing, you know, when something bad happens.
Yes, switch the vibration, flip it.
I giggle when something happens because I was having a lot of crap happen. I'm like, wow. And I giggle, and then I giggle, and then I just start laughing hysterically because really, what can you do?
And laughter is contagious because when you start laughing, I start laughing.
Getting pissed off and wanting to, you know,
and that's
push somebody into traffic or, you know, whatever. It's just like, oh my word, what I like about what you do and I don't do, I go very much with the flow. So shit starts happening. I just notice. I go, wow. Because to me, those are going to add up and they might tell me something at the end. You know, it's almost like your walk the other day when you started getting the signs.
Yeah.
But I love what you do. And this is why I think we've got this
gel.
Is the intention. I kind of go with the flow and I want to stop that. I want to say, hey, I'd rather have this. This is what I found by putting myself there, I've gotten so far laid back that I don't know. There's very little I want out here anymore. You know, I want my children to be.
Yeah, but you want to feel good.
And when things are going off, sometimes but what I think helps is when you want something out here. Something out here when helps you redirect. And I don't always have that out here. I mean, I'm developing this. We were talking about this too. This is what I wanted to do a year ago. It took me a year to get to the point where I was going to do some interviews. I mean, I talked to you in April. We were talking about that as well.
Yeah, but see, I think that we needed to learn more. We needed to go through the things that we've gone through since then, because now we're different people. Every experience changes you. So everything happens the way it's supposed to. I feel like if you're more deliberate, that people don't realize that they have a choice. You can pick, and you can be more deliberate and not barter, but like, you know, negotiate with the universe and say, look, I'm willing to do this, to be the voice, to be whatever, to share whatever you want me to share. But this is what I need. I need, you know, financial resources. I want love. I'm not going to settle. I don't want to live a lonely, empty life. No, I want love. I demand it because I came here for that experience.
Right.
You know, mistake. Well, bring me the real one because I'm ready for it. I want that experience.
Well, and you're changing too. And we've talked about that. I mean, sometimes when you change, you want a different reflection back anyhow. I mean, my ex got married 2 months ago to someone I think is very special, and they're very nice. They're evenly yoked.
Good. We should all have that.
And we should all have that. And when I hear about them or whatever, I'm just like happy for them. And I say that to you because I'm reminding you one day you'll have that.
I can't wait for that feeling to be in that mental, emotional space. I can't wait for it because that's what I want. But I feel like if you have the vision of it, if you can conceive of it, then you can bring it into your reality.
Absolutely.
So you choose it and then you call it in. So we have to take our power back and realize you can have whatever you want, but you have to change the way you think and be more deliberate with how you're creating your reality. Like no more going off half-cocked, just letting the wind take you. No, you direct your boat, you steer your boat where you want it to go. And it's yucky stuff is still going to happen. There's your kitty. Yucky stuff is still going to happen, but you can choose how you react to it, how you respond to it. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. I think that we're so trained from watching all these reality shows that everything has to be super high drama and oh no, and and being a Scorpio, I'm so dramatic and having a lot of planets in Leo, very dramatic. And I need to scale it down. This is not the end of the world, like really self-talking, and reminding myself this isn't so bad. Because then when you're in that even neutral space, then you can receive information, because you have to be listening to receive. I went on a walk. I told you yesterday that I went on a walk yesterday and I was asking for guidance. And first I get the mental image of a snake, a dead snake, which I'm like, random. Okay, weird. I don't know why I'm doing that. We'll keep walking. Then further down in the walk, 5 minutes later, I see an actual dead snake. Okay, weird, cool. And I thought, I was just like, oh wow, cool. They showed me a snake and then I saw a snake. That's pretty cool. So then I'm walking, another dead snake. Okay, right now it's cold in Arizona. There's not supposed to be any snakes out. They only come out in the summer. I mean, typically, or the spring. But right now it's too cold for snakes. So that was really weird too. Then I'm walking and I see a huge dead rattlesnake, and it's dead. The only way I knew it was dead, it wasn't moving and the rattle wasn't rattling. And at first, each time I would see, I was trying to figure out, why am I seeing all these dead snakes? And the first time I saw it out of my peripheral vision, the first snake, and I jumped. Every single time I saw that freaking snake, even though it was dead and it was clearly dead, the first two, I jumped. I was like, that shock feeling. Yes. And even the third one, because the third one was huge, I was like, and so I'm like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Yeah. In my mind, I heard there is nothing to be afraid of. Right. See, you can get close to it. You can go examine it. You can even admire it, because it looked pretty cool. And it was cool to be able to be that close to a real rattlesnake and not be in danger. So I felt like, wow, what a gift. And there's a cardinal in my window. What a gift to be able to see, a snake that close. And then also like, oh, there's nothing to be afraid of, because the day before I had suffered what appeared to be in 3D world a blow, and got some bad news. But then I started, they were softening me and sick, because I was asking just in every moment, praying, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Why is this happening? And just like, I had to get to the point of total radical surrender and like, okay, show me. And then I see the snakes. And so see, the universe will talk to you if you allow it. And then really opening yourself up to receive, like, okay, what does that mean? So what I got from that was like, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's dead. The thing that you fear is not real. It's dead. Like, it's an illusion. So then I got fear is an illusion. And there's nothing. So you can be happy. So go enjoy. Like, don't waste this time. Don't waste this moment. Mm-hmm. Really, what can you look around and be grateful for? What can you do to have fun? What can you do to bring someone else joy? What can you do to bring yourself joy? And I want to share what we do, me and you and our friends, with everybody is, and I encourage all of you to do this, is what we started doing was we have a group of beautiful ladies, and we're like-minded. We are working on ourselves. We're trying to make the world a better place. We're changing ourselves, and we're very deliberate in our creations. And we get together once a week, like this, privately, and we hang out. And that, for me, it has been such a gift, such a blessing to be able to exchange energy with beautiful women that think like me, and that are so loving and kind, and we share what's going on in our lives. We vent, and hey, you should do this and maybe try this, and it's socializing, and this is the new wave of socializing.
It's awesome.
Right? And
It's
it's
awesome.
so uplifting, energetically, mentally, emotionally. It's so beautiful. And I was really missing that element in my life, because I'm in a town where, they all stopped talking to me, so I don't have any friends here. So I was really feeling lonely, and I know a lot of you out there are feeling lonely. So please, I encourage you, find some people, even if you meet them online, so what? That's still a friend. And we have become so close. Yes. And we get together every week, us two, and we're bringing more into our group.
Right.
And it's such a beautiful thing, because we need human connection, human interaction, and
acceptance. Really, when you feel like you don't have anyone that you relate to, because the acceptance is really hard. When you are not in their world anymore, you get a lot of people just cutting you right off. My best friend and I are not near as close as we once were.
Yeah.
Watch this and know it's the truth, but I don't know how to fix that. People are spinning in different directions for different reasons.
Right.
And, our value systems, the way I see it, comes down to value systems across the board, where people's attentions, they're going to put it. And I really don't want to hang out with, and not to be critical, when our intentions are so far off from what, from what is center for me. I can't do it anymore. Like I was telling you, I can't eat meat anymore. I knew it would come to the point. I was on attorney. I told everyone, but when you open that, and it just can't, you can't.
Your soul won't allow it. It's not even up to you. It's just your soul. It's like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. Like me with cheese. I never thought I would give up cheese, and I make it for my kids. So I still give them cheese because they like it, and I miss it. I look at it and I'm like, oh, that looks so good, but I don't need it.
Right.
It's not.
I gave up cheese. I didn't give it up, but I'm not eating as much cheese. I still eat eggs, and I'm not picky. Well, I'm not eating anything but my drink now, but I was eating eggs. But it's funny, after I talked to Julie and we were talking about food and stuff, and she's not on eggs. I opened an egg and I was eating. I was like, God, it doesn't taste as good as it used to. Julie.
Yeah, because you're different.
You did this to me, Julie.
You cursed your eggs.
I was like, God, I'm not going to be able to eat eggs anymore, because that's what.
Well, you gave up coffee. That's my love.
I'm shocked at the coffee thing, because I don't have a headache, and I really expected that today.
That means you were ready. See, I aspire to be that at that point. I'm not there yet, but who knows? Tomorrow I might wake up and be like, nope, no coffee. Because my guidance does tell me when I can and when I can't. Because some days it'll tell me, you need to drink green tea today. Yeah. And so I listen. And I'm not a fan of green tea. I don't like it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So for me, it feels like a chore. It feels like, and I only drink it so that I don't get the headache. But so I don't have that jolt, So it works. It does. I drink it, and I know it's good for me, but for me, tea feels like a punishment, because when we were little, my mom would force us to drink tea when we were sick. So I equate being sick with drinking tea.
Oh no.
And she'd be like, you're gonna drink it all. And I'm like, okay.
I equate drinking tea to sitting down with my great grandparents and getting tea and milk. You know what I mean? Tea and milk. So I love tea. I love little teapots. I do like tea.
Oh yeah, it's super cute and everything, but I was introduced to it in a yucky way.
Oh yeah.
So I equate it with that, but I know it's good for me. So I pushed that label or yucky memory out of it, and I'm like, it's good for you. You need it. Drink it.
How's Ormus going for you? We were talking about.
I took a break from it. I took a break from it because what they don't tell you is that, and we're talking about Ormus. And what they don't tell you is that it will bring up, like, kind of like your cleanse, any cleanse. I haven't done one as severe as yours. The one I did was a green smoothie cleanse, where all you ate was green smoothies, and then at night you had a vegetable broth with vegetables. That was my cleanse. And enemas.
Yeah.
That one kicked my butt. I mean, that wasn't easy, but I did it, and I'm so proud of myself. And it was only for 7 days. I gifted it to myself for my 45th birthday. My guidance said, "You're starting the cleanse," and I'm like, okay. And that's when I was able to give up cheese. So it did something for me. I got a gift because I never thought I'd be able to give up cheese. So anyway, with the Ormus, it does the same thing. Well, for me, I don't know if it's for anybody else because this is my first attempt.
Right. Yes.
It brings up everything that you need to release. So it was like, whoa, it was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. And I didn't even do the full dosage. It wanted me to do a full teaspoon. I did half a teaspoon. Wow. And that was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. And then with everything going on in my life, that's why. I feel like if maybe nothing's going on, I could do it. But because I have so much going on right now, this is not the time. I don't want to be overloaded. So see, that's important too, being an advocate for yourself. Like, oh, well, this is what spiritual people do. No, you listen to you. Are you ready for that? Don't just do it because Dick and Jane are doing it. No, is it right for you?
Correct. Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited for you, because I aspire to do that. But at the same time, I know my limitations, and I know I will be guided to when to start. And I'm not going to push myself.
And it took me 9 months. I could have had a baby, and time it took me to be ready for my cleanse. I was like, that is so pathetic.
That's funny. No. See, that's what we have to stop. No beating ourselves up, no judging, because everything does come in divine right time. Just like you're not going to judge your baby for not walking as fast as his sister walked. Because, my son took forever to walk. He did not want to walk. He was just dragging his little body like a worm all over the place. And he could walk. I think it was fear, because he was getting out of his crib. He was getting out of the walker. And I'm like, well, if you can do that, you can walk. But he didn't want to. And so, see, I wouldn't judge my baby for not walking. So why would I judge myself?
Right.
Like just shifting that in our minds.
We should be treating ourselves like we're taking care of ourselves. I mean, that we're
like
the
a baby
adults of our and we need that, because sometimes when you are alone for a while, it does help to have someone looking after you at some measure.
And I feel like that's what real friends do, and that's what we do for each other in our little group. We remind ourselves how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, and acknowledging, like, I really like that you did that, and thank you for this. And I feel like that's what's been missing in my world. People like you.
Well, and it's been 1 year since your husband and you separated. We were talking about that too. And that's a long time. So you've had time to get that out of your field. It's more than likely going in a certain direction. And what a great thing to start doing, to reach out and try to find a new network of people.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And I feel like we should all do that, because it doesn't have to be a divorce that you're going through. It could be a job loss. Oh my God, my job loss. I think the job loss was probably more devastating to me than the marriage loss, because the marriage loss, like, you could tell it was on a decline. I was just lying to myself. But with the job loss, it felt like I don't have the paycheck and I don't have the title, and society as a whole, not just one person, all of society is looking at me in this, in this weird way. So I feel like anything that you're grieving, the old you, because even though we weren't happy in that 3D world, it was comfortable.
Yeah.
And like, that's a scary place to be in, where you don't know who you are yet. And you're in that in between. I say sometimes that I feel like I'm at my own funeral. Like, I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost at my own funeral, and I'm just like watching everything unfold, because I know the old me's dead, but at the same time, the new me hasn't resurrected yet, and I'm just like,
well, you're in the middle of you're in the middle of the throes. There's no doubt of that. I thought I was going to show. We were talking about bells and just healing, and I bought this set a long time ago. Not a long time ago, in the last 5 years. but I love 528. You know how you said you used,
Ooh.
do you ever use the 528?
On YouTube, but I would love to have a tuning fork. Play it for us again.
It's, isn't that nice? This is the miracle sound. So when I really want to shift myself, I mean, they went lost. They were missing. I've moved, so things, I've moved and I've moved and I'm in a move always because I haven't found where I want everything. And I don't even want all the stuff. So I just found this again. But these are terrific to use just through your chakras, just put them around.
Oh, it sounded so magical. I loved it.
And this one is 174, and this is really good for pain. So I use this sometimes with Reiki, or just I use it with myself when I can find them.
Wow.
But this is something I pulled out for Lydia because she's older and children too. And if they have pain, this 174 is really good for just taking the pain out. So with that neck, that's why I was trying to find it, because she was hunched over and it was in the side of her neck. But even children, they don't want to be manipulated, and this is great for pain. So I would run through all of them. I think there's 9.
Wow.
So I recommend stuff like that because this is sound therapy.
And where'd you get that? Did you get it online or at
Amazon?
A shop?
It's just
what is it called?
Tuning forks, 9 tuning
forks.
Yeah, but they with the 528 sequence in it. Like this one is 963. So it is the Tesla. It has the Teslas. This is the smallest one. So this is like this would be a higher frequency. Obviously.
There's apps. There's tuning fork apps.
I know. I don't trust the computer. As far as pure.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, I use it, but I have to tell you, I have CDs that I don't know. I'm a weird. I love the computer in my way, but I don't trust the computer. I prefer to.
Well, I don't think it's the computer you don't trust. It's who's managing stuff.
Well, and what they might, I feel like it's
infiltration.
And it's how you could mess with this frequency. I've even heard that they can put things in between frequency. At least if I hit this, I can be assured I'm getting pure frequency when I'm using it on myself or others. But I don't think you should avoid it. You should just know that there's other ways to get your frequency.
Was it expensive?
I think it was $100. It was a Christmas gift or something, 150 maybe. But it's I don't remember, to be honest. I'll look it up.
That is so cool.
But you can buy the 528, the miracle one. So if you're trying to attract miracles, I would recommend
definitely
throwing it across the room too and seeing what happens. It's just happened. Just jumped. Anyway, I wanted to show that because we were talking, and I use crystals. We talked about that. And then like with baby children, they love this. This was a fairy bell I bought in the 80s, but I still use it for sound. Like if you're
put it next to the speaker. It's hard to hear.
Can you hear that? Oh, the speaker. Can you hear it?
Magical.
This is my Saturn ball. It's copper, and it's just really beautiful. But I think sound's really important. And if you can have pure sounds that you can touch, or even like if somebody is, just getting your children to play certain sorts of beats are going to just, I don't know, like when we're tapping, we're crossing our meridian system. I think any sound has the potential to pop something off of our person.
Yeah, sit back because your sound is getting low.
Oh, is it because I just moved over?
It's because you sat forward.
Okay. Is it all right now?
Yeah, you sound a little bit better.
Okay. Anyway, so those are my sound things.
Oh, I love it.
If you can find something that's, and I used to
like a singing bowl?
Yeah, the singing bowls are terrific. And I've never owned one, but I would.
I want one.
I love to use them.
Yeah.
They're very beautiful to meditate with.
It just relaxes you. You feel, it's like a coming home.
There's a person that's I follow on my channel called Fairy Frequency, and her husband is called Father Frequency. And if you ever want to hear some kick-ass music, but it's like chakra music. Like I went and listened to his guitar one time. I went in there and I went, wow. And have you ever had music just like it'll just hit into your chakras?
Oh.
I wanted to know if he had tuned up. You know how people are trying to tune up because our music was changed.
Right.
You know anything about that? And I've wondered if he uses that, but even if he doesn't, it's even more potent, whatever he puts together in music, because it's extraordinary. But
kind of like light language, how it just goes straight into your energy.
It felt like light language. So check out Father Frequency and Fairy Frequency, because they're awesome. And they just, are putting together really good videos and good content. And
cool.
The music thing caught me because I love the sound. Good sounds make for, things to be flowing and harmoniously and get bad things off of you.
Yes.
It's my experience, at least.
Yeah, it changes your frequency because it makes you happy. So anything that makes you happy, do it.
Absolutely.
And whatever you find, then share it with somebody else.
Right. And keep sharing and have even conversations like this. And I'm so glad that we did this. Did we cover all the things that we were trying to bring in?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think we did, because we wanted to cover something that really more addressed, okay, we have houses, we can change our hearts, change our frequency, we can take a bad thing like you've done and just shift. You can call it collapsing timelines. You can do a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. But I'd love to do it again, and I'm sure we will. We'll figure out something. We're trying to create just more love in our community.
Yeah.
We want people to, leave us comments if there's something that you would like to talk about. If you'd like to be on a show with us, we're open to anything, and we're constantly trying to expand and grow here. And what we want more than anything is just to share the love and to be there for one another. And no matter what is going on in the world, to know that inside of us we have so much power, and to never deny, that we are in contact with a greater being than ourselves. And at times it seems like we're lost and alone, and we're never alone.
We're not alone. We love you. We love you.
So you're never alone. And, leave us a comment if there's anything we can talk about, or again, if you want to share, we'd love to have you contribute, because that's what it's all about, the conversation.
That's right.
Thank you again, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I love you so much. I'm so glad we did this.
You just totally raised my vibration, I swear. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad. Well, that's what we're here for. All right.
Yes.
Be well, and let's do this soon. All right.